I looked over and like in my bubble.
Oh, wow. I'll let you know if one comes on.
Well, yeah, please do. Okay.
Yep.
I'm just gonna...
Sponsor us, please. Please.
We clearly love your product. This is not a paid ad, but it can be. We would love to be endorsed by Sprite, to be honest with you.
Please. So, the main suspect in this case is a man named George Hodel. He was born on October 10th in 1907 in Los Angeles. He is one of the most known suspects and is he's tied directly to this case. You know, you hear his name, you think of the Black Dahlia.
Yeah.
And he was a physician in the area, and he had surgical skills, which led the police to suspect him because whoever killed her was, you know, they had knowledge and experience of like surgical procedures and things like that. He'd also been accused of assaulting and abusing his own daughter, and then giving her a back alley abortion after he got her pregnant. But he was acquitted from these charges.
Yep.
Yeah. And it actually says here that he was a special man.
That's a word for it.
Yeah. He was very smart. He attended the South Pasadena High School and graduated early at age 15. And then he enrolled at the California Institute of Technology, or Caltech. But he was forced to leave after 1 year because he had a scandal involving a professor's wife. He had gotten her pregnant and then wanted to raise the child together, but she refused. And so then her marriage fell apart. That's not really that relevant, but it just needed to go in there.
Just need to add that little part in, because, like, why would the marriage last after
Right,
that?
exactly. You know, he made himself known as, like, a medical practitioner in the area, but he was really, like, taken up by the darker side of, like, surrealism, and he started working with this man named Man Ray. Didn't know that was his name.
Man Ray, like literally, I'm reading it. It says Man
Ray. He befriended a photographer named Man Ray.
Did he take a lot of manta ray pictures? Sorry,
must be.
I had to. I'm sorry.
It's a knee slapper.
Really get in there.
And then a film director named John Huston and some of their associates. They also all shared sick interest in sadomasochism. And you know, it was just, they all found a love for partying, drinking, and womanizing.
Let's just say him and Pazuzu would have been great friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He also was like a polygamist. A special man. You know, he just had a bunch of wives, and it just, I don't know. So, like, he didn't have a great history going for him anyways.
He was just a really nasty man.
And, so then after, it came out a little while after, but, they found that in, like, archived files that he had a relationship with the Black Dahlia, or Elizabeth.
Yikes.
At one point. So after that, you know, his secretary mysteriously unalived herself. He had, like, common law marriages, which is, like, not like an official marriage,
but like a marriage in like
it's like a legal marriage, but not entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if that made sense.
I was gonna say I will put up the official definition for that.
He would just acquire women to, like, be his lover. Which people then said that, you know, he acquired a relationship with Elizabeth Short. And
whether or not that's actually true or not, who knows?
Right. It is suspicious though, because after she was murdered, he left the country. Because he fled from like the collective like United States and went to Hawaii. It was then a U.S. territory,
Yeah.
but still the United States. She's a smart cookie though.
Yeah, well, apparently not that.
Just a pervy cookie.
It's kind of pervy. What kind of cookie would that be? If you had to put a category on a pervy cookie, what would it be?
Those cookies you made us. What's like a creepy cookie?
It's hard because really cookies aren't ever really that creepy.
They're not pervy. Well, he's like kind of like a scone because no one goes out of their way to eat scones.
Ooh, you just offended all the British people. Have you ever tried a scone?
No.
Because they're actually not supposed to be that dry if you make them correctly.
Or he's like, oh, no. You know what? He's like a macaroon.
Actually, no, what? He can be a macaron. Macaroons are the coconut ones. Macarons are the French ones that you're thinking of.
No.
So, yes.
I'm thinking of like the crusty ones.
I think you have the little coconut towers. Those are macaroons.
I don't
Macarons are those French little
like the little sandwich cookies?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Never mind. I think it has to be those molasses ones.
The molasses
cookies. Because you just have to dip them in something or else they're just not that good. So, you know, you would think that he would be able to be extradited back to California to be...
True, but, you know, who knows how the law worked then. I mean, clearly they were accepting bids from under the table, so...
True.
Do you really... And also, let's not forget who his father is. He worked in the LAPD.
Well, so does his son, Steve Hodel.
So...
Which, you know, actually, his son...
Too many connections there.
He claims that his dad was the Black Dahlia killer, and he has found evidence to support it, which I have a strong suspicion that he probably did. We'll never know. He left in March 1950 to Hawaii, and then came back in 1999 just to die.
Wow.
Yeah, he left, but there is some pretty good evidence that actually suggests he could have.
Well, yeah, he had the background for it. He had the weird sadisticness for it, and he knew her.
Because if you think about it, like, he had a medical background, so that's really suspicious already.
Yeah, a doctor medical background.
He already has like a background with the law because he went to court and people testified against him about his like whole altercation with his daughter, and then he ended up being obviously acquitted for those, but he didn't have a good track record, and there were records of him having a relationship with Short, and at least 8 witnesses claimed to have knowledge of Hodel and Short having a relationship in 1946. So with that information, his private residence in Hollywood was electronically bugged by 18 men in the LAPD task force.
Yeah, I thought that was actually really smart of them to do that.
It was, and they got a quote, and I will read you that direct quote.
It's a very good one, yeah.
So they bugged it between February 15th and March 27th in 1950. The transcripts of the conversation revealed Hodel's references to illegal abortions, giving payoffs to law enforcement, and to his possible involvement in the murder of his secretary and Short. So I'll read you that quote. Supposing I did kill the Black Dahlia, they can't prove it now. They can't talk to my secretary anymore because she's dead. They thought they were... Oh. They thought there was something fishy. Anyway, now they may have figured it out. Killed her. Maybe I did kill my secretary.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That's pretty...
I know, but he never did actually state, like, I killed my secretary.
Yeah. Right. It was said that he had, like, a basement in his home, and that's where he, like, performed the back alley abortion on his daughter, and things like that, and so it could be that he took This is my theory. So, in theory, let's say that he picked up Elizabeth. Let's say he picked her up here, drove her back to his place. All the bad stuff happened.
Yeah. Oh, that. Wow.
Yeah.
Look at all that bad stuff, guys.
I know. Then he drives her body down here and drops her off.
Mm-hmm.
There she is. There she lies.
There she is.
The looker.
I'll never live that one down.
No, you won't. Let's theoretically say he does this, right? If they already knew each other,
mm-hmm.
it's not suspicious for him to pick her up, especially if they
especially
had
if
a relationship.
Or that even if, let's just say that there are mutuals or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. He could have been in one of those books. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. He could have been in her, like, in the address book or something, because he was a well-known physician in the area.
Mm-hmm.
He made a name for himself.
What if she was seeing him, like, as a physician? What if, because, he cut her open. What if?
Exactly. So, like, he takes her back home. She doesn't suspect a thing.
What if she was going to get a back alley abortion from him?
What if? Wait, this is a new theory because you just said that. What if he botched it and she, like, was having, like, major complications, so then he just beat her to death because he was like...
Or that's what she thought she was going to go get, but he was somehow just, like, angry and he was, like, ready to kill her or something like that.
Maybe things were getting a little suspicious. Little sus! Okay, so we're going to stick with that theory, right? Okay. She was, like,
She was going to see him for maybe a medical issue.
Yeah. So then, she's like, okay, like, this is fine. No one's going to know about it because he's done this before.
Yeah, and most likely people will probably know about this, and her group of friends probably did know.
Right. So let's say that she, like, got that, and he was like, he's like, okay, I'll do it. It's fine. Like, we're close enough. Like, it's fine. We'll do it. Mm-hmm. Then he gets her back, and he's like, actually, you know a little too much now.
Yeah.
It seemed like it took a while to, like, kill her. It seemed like he had fun torturing her.
I know, but it was a blunt force to the head that eventually.
Yeah, but it was repeated blows to the head.
Yeah, so it was kind of like, it was like that thing where, you're getting your head, like, smashed.
It's almost like curb stomping.
Mm-hmm.
But with, like, an object.
Either that or literally physically pounding the head.
Right. I don't know, because I feel like it was, like, premeditated. He's like, I feel like maybe he was like, we're getting a little too close. She's learning a little too much. Like, maybe she knows.
She saw something that they do.
Yeah.
And he didn't like it. Or she was gonna maybe tell someone about it.
Yeah, or maybe he, like, got a little paranoid and, like, thought that she maybe was telling people about what he was doing. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I can't have that. Yeah. I'm gonna take her out.
And he does,
But he wanted to satisfy that sadistic, like, masochist side of him.
Yeah, because, like, all along he probably wanted to do it, and then he finally had the perfect chance. He's like, that was my time. Yeah. And he took his time with her.
Yeah. But I feel like maybe he, like, did it in his own home, so he was, like, comfortable. He, like, drove over here and just dumped her.
Or, I mean, he still honestly could have driven her to the hotel or the motel that we talked about. Mm-hmm. Like, either way, like, he still could have taken her somewhere.
Exactly.
House or no house. Yeah. And then drive her up there.
I just feel like maybe he was, like, getting a little bit, like, I don't know about her.
Too comfortable there.
It's like they're archived files that, like, they had a relationship at some point. Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's interesting.
Or what if, this is probably unrealistic, what if it was his, that the back out, the back of the abortion, and he finally snapped because he's like, not this again.
Yeah, I'm not going to court again. Like, I'm not
doing this again. I'm not also going to get rejected again.
Right. Oh, yeah, because he did get rejected. That's a good point. You bring up a really good point about that.
I know. Well, yeah, because I'm just trying to make a connection, because I'm like, he was already angry about that again. He did a lot of abortions, right?
I don't know. I know he did the one on his daughter, at least. It
sounded like he was pretty good at doing them. It almost sounded like he was like, that was his thing.
It was just like, he got his, like, medical degree, so, he could practice in society. Yeah. But he also did, like, janky stuff in his own home, like, out of, his basement or something like that. Yeah. That was, like, his private, like, clinic. to do like these janky things.
Or all of this could be wrong, and it's like completely something totally different. Like that's why, like leave in the comments what you think your theory could be about MO, who did it, why they did it, how she even ended up in the vacant lot. Because that's another thing is like, why choose that spot? Like there must have been some significance for choosing that spot. Did they know a lot of passerbys went there?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But like I guess coming back to the theories too, it is so suspicious for her to be murdered than for him to be like, deuces.
Yeah, I gotta leave the country like really fast.
So it's like, I don't know. But I think that that's so interesting, and there's a lot more like theories out there and stuff like that.
Oh yes.
But he's definitely like the main person of interest. But unfortunately, I mean, obviously this case is still a cold case. It's still open.
Yeah, we will probably never know. Because if there was any leads, they're all dead.
Yeah.
Or they're too old to remember.
Yeah. And then he like when he was down there, he married like a upper class Filipino woman, and then he had 4 children with her. This man was getting around. He wanted his kids.
I guess so. He finally got them.
Yeah.
I mean, how many more? I don't know that he probably has.
Listen to what a standout man he is. He then divorced her in 1960. And yeah. I'm like, what a standout guy. You tried to raise your baby at 15 with that professor's wife?
It's because she was married.
Yeah.
That's why he wanted it so bad. A 15-year-old, I mean, okay, think of this. 15-year-old that maybe wasn't that good with the ladies, or maybe he was. I don't know.
He's not a bad-looking guy. I will say that.
He got with a married woman, like, got her pregnant. As a 15-year-old in that scenario, wouldn't you feel so empowered that you could possibly make an older man and an older woman leave an older man that they're married to for a 15-year-old? Like, he probably felt like he was on top of the world, and then when she rejected him, boom, cut down 10,000 pegs.
Yeah, I mean, at 15, your ego is very fragile.
You think that you are, God himself.
Exactly.
So, that's what I mean. Like, that's probably why that relationship, it didn't satisfy him, because it's like he didn't win anything.
No.
He got kids, but he didn't win anything at the end of the day.
I don't know.
But these are all just theories and speculations. None of these are facts.
I like that one theory, though. It's a good theory.
Thank you! Yeah. See, I do know stuff.
I mean, yes, like, being rejected is hard. But
to take it to the extreme.
Well, like, that is hard, especially because it is his baby.
Yes, but he was a 15-year-old.
Exactly. Like, what are you going to do? You can't provide for a woman.
No, and I think that's the most 15-year-old response. Well, we could raise them together. He's still got that naive mind where he's like, no, like, we can definitely take care of this. Like, I'm an adult. Like, we can, leave your husband. Like, we will have a life with this child. Like, very, like, just naive, like, teenage mind. So I'm sure getting rejected was kind of like
she doesn't actually want me. She
just wanted the goods.
This man had 5 + 4.
9.
9 kids.
9 kids.
Different women.
Bro, like really getting around. Like I said, probably many more with many others.
Bro really wanted a kid.
Oh, he got him.
But then he didn't want to be a father because he just divorced him.
No, he was living out his 15-year-old fantasy,
Yeah.
Obviously, there's been so many theories about who did it, why they did it, blah, 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 where they did it, blah, blah. They were also, so at this point, they were scrapping, They didn't know if it was a solo killer or a serial killer, right? So I think it was a solo killer. I don't think it was a serial killer.
Yeah.
It seemed too random and too, I don't know, just like out of the nowhere kind of thing, that it was like, I don't think it was a serial killer, but I could be wrong. You never know. So tried to come up with some theories of some serial killers, and sorry, I got a little too excited on that one. They tried to see if there was any related crimes prior that could have been somewhat similar, because with some serial killers, not all, I'm not saying all of them, as they develop, sometimes, not that they change their MO, but
it morphs.
Yes, they evolve to their perfect MO.
Yeah.
So they were looking at some cases that had similar type of MOs, And the first one was the Cleveland torso murders.
Yes.
Now, I'm not really familiar with this case at all.
I'm not too familiar with it.
But basically, they suspected a link between the short murder and the Cleveland torso murders, which took place in, obviously, Cleveland, Ohio, between 1934 and 1938. So it's around, it's like relevant. It's not too,
It's not too far off, but it is earlier.
Yes, because these two they happened 4 years apart.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like I said, sometimes they evolve, and as they get older, sometimes they go longer in between periods. If they're not in a craze.
It's their cooling off period.
Yes.
Fun fact, now you know.
Now you know.
They go on sprees, and then they have cooling off periods, and then they come back.
Yes. And sometimes they come back even years later, or they hire copycats to do their work for them.
Yes, because sprees can be, well, their cooling off periods can be, it's not like a quantifiable time. It's just they just
stop doing it for a immense amount of time where because like eventually you start to see a pattern with killings when it comes to serial killers.
Yeah.
And if you see a big old drop off time, that's probably their cool off time, and they don't have any triggers happening during that time. Mm-hmm. Or they're keeping calm because they haven't found any new victims.
Or they had a little bit of heat on them and they're laying low so they don't get caught. Yes. And then they'll pick it back
Or they're
up.
like actively moving to another spot.
Yes.
So. But yeah, so they studied the torso murders in 1947, but later discounted any connection between the two cases.
So, if you remember back to our first episode, we covered the lipstick killer.
Reminiscent.
When I saw that this was tied together,
mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, that's really cool.
Oh yeah, I was like, wow, this is really familiar. I was like, wait, I know that name.
This is interesting because I don't know, it's just
I didn't know it was going to be connected to something we were talking about. I was like, this is such a small world.
I know.
Crime authors such as Steve Hodel and William Rasmussen suggested a link between the short murder and the 1946 murder and dismemberment of 6-year-old Suzanne Degnan, his only child victim.
Yes,
if you remember, in Chicago, Illinois.
So these were connected, kind of, because of the dismemberment.
Yeah, but it was a different dismemberment.
Exactly, because they said if you remember back,
we'll do a little refresh.
Yeah. Recap moment here. If you remember back, so in the lipstick killers, in that final case, she was dismembered completely.
Oh yeah, her body. She was
everything. Yeah,
spread out.
So, but they also said that whoever did this had a knowledge of anatomy, or they had the skills of a butcher.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In the Black Dahlia case, it was more of a structured medical procedure.
Mm-hmm.
And she was not dismembered in the sense of her whole body was just dismembered. She was just cut in half. It wasn't discreet. It was like a show. It's I did this, look at my hard work, you will know what I've done.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
Yes.
It was for show.
Yeah.
And it was he was proud of, or whoever killed her was proud of the craft and work that they did on murdering her.
But the lipstick killer was not. He was actively trying to get away from himself and being connected to it.
We talked about the lipstick killer. We talked about the note on the wall left in lipstick, and it's, stop me before I kill again. But when you look at the things that the police and investigators were sent from the Black Dahlia's case, it was almost taunting. They were taunting the investigators oh, you can't figure it out. I'm going to send you all these little bits and pieces, but you don't know who I am.
And I'm one step ahead of you.
Exactly.
All the time.
So it's there's that different motive behind it. It's it felt like the lipstick killer was begging for help. He wanted to be stopped.
Yeah, he said, I cannot stop me before I keep killing.
Right.
But they did say, though, that's the one thing, the reason why they were so somewhat adamant, but it could have been, is because apparently both notes contained a similar misshapen letter P and have one word that matches exactly.
It's interesting, but I don't think.
I really don't think so because looking back at the lipstick killer when he was doing his killings, he never left his area, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
it was all within like the same area of like his hometown.
Yeah, and he got convicted pretty fast after the one murder. So it's like the timelines don't really add up to me.
No, and it doesn't seem like that motive just doesn't seem possible to be the same for both of them.
No, I understand why they did make the connection because obviously they saw the disembodiment, but don't forget that was his only disembodied body that he did. And they were just two drastically different styles. If he had done it in a way that was somewhat similar and maybe not as much and not as more like disposing quickly than like meticulously, yeah, I would probably call that more sus.
And if he had like, and if in the Black Dahlia case, if they had dismembered her, like fully dismembered her, that's a bigger tie. But to me, it doesn't seem like there's any real connection there.
No, and
handwriting isn't. I mean, it is concrete evidence, but you can write things similar to someone else.
And
take for example the college girl handwriting. It is very similar among most people that like have like that basic handwriting.
Yeah,
that's me. Exactly. To me, that doesn't seem like concrete evidence enough to be like these two are tied together because I don't think they were.
No,
and the timelines don't really add up.
And also, let's not forget, I'll probably be saying this the entire video. She was a gorgeous woman, right? And she was pretty confident in herself. She knew she was pretty, And not to say, no man could go up to her because a lot did. Obviously, most got rejected. But do you really think, if you do remember from the first case that we talked about, he was not the type of guy that would probably go up to a beautiful woman like that? Like he goes for incognito at night. Yeah. Like kind of like, I don't want you to see me type of thing. So it's like realistically, let's be honest here. Like, do you really think that he would have even gone up to this type of woman? Like, he went for older woman and a 6-year-old. He didn't go for pleasure wise. He didn't go because they were pretty or beautiful. He just went because they were an easy target, I'm sure.
And another thing is like, it's said that she was assaulted.
Yes.
And William didn't assault his victims. It was more of like with the Black Dahlia case, it was more centered around the torture and what he did to her, like pre and post mortem. With the lipstick killer, it was more of like, I had an urge to kill, and I killed. Yeah. But now I don't want to do it again. Yeah. It's like we talked about in that episode. He had that, like, it seemed like disassociations where he's watching himself do these acts from afar, but he can't control it.
And they were very violent acts.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not like he tortured his victims.
No, he and also he showed remorse for each victim, and this was not remorse.
No, because it's like he's dangling the carrot in front of the rabbit and saying, like, go.
Well, yeah, and also the way, obviously the way he posed her, like, that's not remorseful at all. He literally left her out in the open because obviously with the remorse, he literally covered the one victim up with a dress afterwards, to kind of cover her face. Yeah. So even his previous case, like, it was all remorseful type of acts, and so like the MO is just like they mix and they don't mix.
Yeah. Let's jump back to the autopsy report. The things that he did, like, cutting her face and like removing bits of flesh and things like that, those aren't things that you would do to be remorseful. He like, because I'm gonna bring this back up, but I looking at that picture of her post mortem, it was clear that he enjoyed what he did.
Oh, 100%.
So,
I mean, he literally took like chunks out of her skin, probably to keep as a souvenir.
Yeah, he's probably like, look, I got the Black Dahlia.
You know. There was one theory. I wasn't gonna say it because it's like really far fetched.
Okay.
She had this rose tattoo that apparently not many knew about, except for a certain Leslie. Apparently, he knew about this, and the person who called in, he was saying something about the rose tattoo, and they're like, we didn't put that in her journal, like in the journaling, at all.
Would only like romantic partners know about that?
Probably because it was on the left side of. I can't actually. Sorry, take that back. It was on one of her thighs. I will put which one. Okay. I believe it was either on her thighs or like her.
Like mid.
Yeah. It was in a place where you would only see it if you were intended to see it. You know.
Yeah. Okay.
And apparently that was cut off.
Oh, so that was like one of because it's a defining mark.
Mm-hmm.
They would be able to identify
and not even just that. Well, not just that, but allegedly, this is the biggest alleged. No one has ever confirmed this. No autopsy, no person, nothing. People were coming up with a theory that that little chunk where her tattoo was put in her.
Like
you know
dumpsters.
What I mean? Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like I say that, but that's what I've heard. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's been no 100% actual guarantee, so it could not have even been in there. But someone was saying that
it could have even been on like her chest too, because remember that like portion of skin was cut off. Was it not on her chest? Because I was gonna say there was like a chunk of skin.
He would cut lacerations off her breast. Yeah. So yeah, no, that's not where the tattoo was.
Okay, again.
Left thigh. I was right. Left thigh. Yes. Okay. So I was right. Okay. There we go. Okay. I'm proud of myself that I remembered that. Thank you. Good job. I actually do know my stuff.
I don't know. I just feel like it's very far-fetched to try and tie these two together because when you really dive into both of these cases, they are abundantly different. And so it's just, I don't know. To me, it seems very far-fetched, and I don't think that you can really correlate them. But I understand where you can get bits and pieces that correlate. I feel like the Black Dahlia was just like, I feel like it's such a standalone case. It's very hard to, I don't think it was like in a serial murder way. I think it was just bad circumstances, and she got in with like some people that she maybe learned a little too much, and they just had to oust her, you know? That's my opinion. You know, it was said that she was a little risque. We're talking about Short now. You know, she alleged prostitution. The autopsy also states that Short was not and had never been pregnant. Back to the theory.
Not or never had been.
Well, contrary to what had been claimed prior to and following her death. Okay, so that theory is wrong then.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. That's what we mean. It's like there's so many theories out there, and then so many of them are getting told that's not correct because
new information is coming out. Because, like I said, it's still an open cold case. I would have loved to meet her. Just honestly, me too. I feel like she was just like a great person.
Honestly, I think she would have been really fun to hang out with. Yeah. To be honest, she would have been like that cool girl that was like actually nice though. Yeah. No, I would have loved to hang out with her.
Just been like, honest. And then just been like before she like died, and been like, I know how you will die. Yeah. I know like, your end.
I just wanted to let you know, do not stay at the Biltmore Hotel. And just, you know what? Actually, just come with me. Stay with me.
Yeah, just stay with us.
Talk to anyone with the name Hanson, George, or Leslie. Okay? Actually, you know what? Just move back to Florida.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Trust me. Florida. I'll just show her this picture and be like, that's you. I'll be like, you are naked and splayed out in a field. Or like a lot.
Do you want to be that?
Don't do that. So. Tell her the gruesome details. I'll be like, you were beat in the head and then cut in half.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
No.
No, but I feel like she was just like a beautiful person. Inside and out.
We need to stop hanging out.
Yeah, I know.
Obviously, if we missed some things, we apologize. This is such a huge case that, like, we would literally be here for 4 hours if we were getting everything the gritty. There is also, more information out there. You guys can read any article that you want. I can put some down in the description. I think that's gonna be it for this.
I think so.
Yes, and also again, tell us your thoughts and your theories about what you think happened.
Yes, I want to hear your theories on who did it and why they did it.
Yes, and you can be as outwardly as you want. Unfortunately, I don't think this case is ever going to be solved.
No, I mean it's such an old case now.
It is. So they know who did it. She knows who did it. Unfortunately, I think it's gonna lie with those two people that did it.
Some could say it went to the grave.
It really did. It went to both graves, didn't it?
So, if you haven't already seen on some of our social media, we have a huge announcement. Our first 3 episodes of the podcast are out on Spotify now.
Yeah. So basically, because obviously we upload these videos, at least we try to every, once a week. For the sake of my mentality, these will not be coming up every single week because that means double the editing for me. Yeah. Sorry. But they will be coming out every other week. So let's say this episode will be uploaded next week. The week after that episode will be uploaded on Spotify. So every 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Every 2 weeks, one episode will be uploaded on Spotify, just in case you couldn't get to it that week, or you want to go back and watch it on a different platform, and you can watch it on the go. There's video included on each podcast, just in case that's your preferred platform to watch things on, but obviously the biggest thing is that you can listen to the audio anywhere you go, and we will try and get better as we go through the podcast now, knowing we have to be careful that we're on Spotify, of being able to make sure that we, as much as we're good visually, we're good verbally. We will be getting better.
For sure
at that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. It's just a little early Christmas present and a massive thank you.
Yes, thank you for all the support that you've given to us and making this dream actually a reality now.
I was to say, you guys don't realize we've talked about this podcast since we were little.
Yeah.
Not little 10 years old, but preteen, teen.
Yeah.
Because
we have conversations and like you saw tonight, with our banter.
I think this one truly let our true selves come out.
Yeah, this was by far, honestly, my favorite.
This has just been such a rewarding thing.
It's just the best thing, and I'm so excited that it's actually
I know we're just doing it.
Yeah,
we don't care. I never doubted that we couldn't do it. I think we were. We were a little nervous to do it.
It's daunting, and it's time-consuming, but, we love it.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's a vulnerable thing, and
I'm really glad that our humor is reaching out to people.
Yes.
And that you guys are perceiving our humor and accepting who we are.
Yeah, this is our authentic...
Clearly.
Yeah, this is our, authentic self.
Yes.
Full compilation.
Yeah, we're trying to have a heartfelt moment, and here I go.
She broke her mic stand.
I did. Last week's episode was a disaster. That's why you probably will never see that video. Unless it's an emergency. Because we tried filming a game night, and let's just say game night wasn't the way it was supposed to go.
No, our mics, we lost an hour of content.
Yes. Let's just say anything that could have gone wrong went wrong.
But anyways, that is our exciting announcement for the upcoming future, honestly, because we will keep posting on there.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Also, are we not going to talk about the elephant in the room?
Yeah.
Yeah, his neck is a little...
Yeah. I was like, I opened the package, right? And I'm like, does he go this way? And I'm like, that's a lot of legs. And I'm like...
And then she literally asked me, she's like, this is the head. So a little thing is, we have a love for, I don't know, I'm joking, it's back on that. Love for dino nuggets. Yes. And I remember every time I was over here around midnight, we would put them in the microwave. I just saw that and that reminded me of that and your love for dinosaurs. The way he just sits in my hand. If you guys
I thought he would stay.
Sorry.
Maybe.
If you guys have any name suggestions for the little guy, he could be our little mascot besides Carol.
Stewie. He has Stegosaurus.
I think so. But the Stegosaurus is really cute.
It is really cute.
So.
Or is it a Spinosaurus? That's not a dinosaur.
Spinosaurus?
That is not a dinosaur.
That is not a dinosaur. It is a Stegosaurus.
Oh, okay.
I knew I was right. I know my dinosaurs.
Oh, God.
My favorite is either the Brachiosaurus or the Velociraptor.
I think mine has to be the T-Rex.
But yeah, no, this is...
You're just like...
He's our little friend.
Yeah, he's our studio buddy.
We hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as we did.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
And turn on the notification bell because you can get updated every time we upload.
Yes.
And follow us on social media because we post many funny clips.
Yes.
Behind the scenes, never seen, announcements.
Mm-hmm. So, stay safe, stay happy, and we'll see you next time. Deuces!